Hello and welcome to Books with Alison. I am Alison and I am reviewing the current books that I'm reading that I've loved and rereading again. And as I go on this journey this year, I'm trying to branch out into different genres and types of books, and I'm so excited to be sharing this with you. I would love to hear what you are reading, what your favorite books are, what your favorite genres are. Let me know in the comments, and that way I can, one, read more, two, review the books that you would like me to review, and just open up our doors to new books. So I recently finished UnBound by Kasia Urbaniak. I am not going to say that name correctly, and I feel horrible about that. So I apologize. But this book is actually amazing. I would highly recommend it for anybody who is looking to improve their communication skills, who needs support in talking with their spouses, with their coworkers, with their bosses, with their children, with their teammates, whoever you're talking to, and you need more power and influence and support in asking for what you want. This is the book to read. So 10 out of 10 is my rating, just so you know, out of the gate. I would highly recommend this book. What I like and how she broke down communication and the way typically women speak to men or women speaking to other women is that complaining is typically easier than making a request. Like saying, oh, you never help me with the dishes, and oh, I never get this raise, and oh, nothing ever works out for me, is so much easier than taking back our power and saying, hey, I need you too. And I love that about her. And in this book, and what I really like is that she helps you understand different techniques for asking for what you want and what you need. So that way, a lot of women, it doesn't matter who you are, what you identify as, a lot of people have a really hard time because they don't want to seem nagging, right? They don't want to seem complaining. They don't want to seem rude. They don't want to seem like a bad person, right? I'm trying not to swear. So that's my brain is having a hard time. They don't want to be that person, right? And especially for women, like I wish my husband would take out the trash. And if I say, could you take out the trash? Then that sounds like a nag. I don't want to do that to him. So she gives you a lot of different scripts and way of looking at it and way of talking at it. And this is great. She also talks about how this type of communication is not about control. It's not about being demanding. It's not about power. It's about influence and communication. And the focus becomes in more on understanding the other person and what they need and meeting them where they are, no matter the situation, whether you're asking for a raise or asking to take on a project or asking your spouse to take out the trash or telling them what you desire in your life. It's about influence and seeing how those requests hit that person, whether they engage, they're distracted, they're disgusted, they're angered, or they're on board, and helping support them into getting what you want. The author is a trained Taoist nun as well as a dominatrix. And so she brings a really interesting style of writing, but also her concepts and the words that she used. And so in the beginning of the book, she said, I like to use a yin yang perspective, which makes a lot of sense to me. But Westerners typically don't understand that type of energy and correlation. So she switched it in the book to dominant and submissive. And I think that really opened up the perspective for me as well. And asking from a dominant perspective, which sometimes seems too aggressive, versus being in a submissive asking a question which seems too petty or too weak or too mindless, and meeting yourself in a place where it's respectable for the situation you're in. What I learned out of this book is that she talks about the good girl issue, where a lot of women and people will feel like we're raised to be the good girl, right? Don't ask questions, don't talk out loud, don't make a scene, just take what you're given, don't ask for more, never ask for help, and how that leads into the independent woman, which is, fine, I'll do it on my own, no one's going to help me anyways, I'm never going to ask for help, I get things done, and then we're overwhelmed and burnt out. And what I realized for me in my practice as a functional medicine physician is that my good girl really has taken over in all of my business and really in every sales tactic. But I'll be talking with my patients and I want to be unassuming. I don't want to be the doctor that's like, this is wrong with you and you need to do this, and like just that aggressive type. I hate that. It doesn't land well with most people. So I went too far in the opposite direction where it's like, well, if you want to do this testing, you can, and let me know what you think. And what I feel like is people who were working with me were like, well, gosh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. I don't know if I could trust her. So it really helped me land in the middle and be like, okay, I know what I'm talking about. You need to do X, Y, and Z. This is how much it's going to cost. And from a sales perspective, what do you want to do? Do you want to do this option, or this option? And one has given me so much more confidence in working with people in all of my businesses, and also in working with the male team leaders that I work with in my other businesses and saying, all right, normally I'm flailing around in the background, like, what am I going to say to them? And I don't want to come off aggressive. And what if they get mad? I actually was able to drop all of that in my head and write out the questions of, okay, here's what's happening. Where do you need support? Here's what else is going on that's not working out for us. What can we change? And I've been having the most amazing conversations with all of my teams after that. So if you're someone who works in a team place, I do think this book was great for women who have C-level jobs or work in corporations where they're working with teams, they're mid-level or working their way up, they have bosses to respond to. Like, this is a fantastic book for this. So as an entrepreneur, I definitely had to take some and like twist it around a little bit to make it into a sales entrepreneur book, but that was perfect. And it also helped me in my conversations with my husband to really just embrace true communication without shame or fear, without being too aggressive, and also without being too submissive and too weak and hiding behind that lack of communication. So I could really connect with him. So I love this book, highly recommend it. I think that most people who read this book would love it too. It's something I feel like you should read over and over again, because as you shift your perspective as you go through this, your words are going to change, your communication, your style, everything is going to change. It's going to keep giving you power. You're going to see a different level with it each time you read it. So 2 thumbs up. Love this book. Go grab it. And thanks for tuning in. Comment if you read it. Let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts, your input. And if you haven't, let me know if you're going to grab it and if you find this useful. Make sure you like and subscribe so that way you stay tuned for all of our weekly videos. Let me know if there's any books you would like me to read and review. And we'll see you next week.